I never believed in destiny. Not until the moment she froze in front of me, her eyes locked onto the faded insignia stitched above my left shoulder, and whispered a word that had been extinct for thousands of years. The Chosen. Before that moment, I was just Lieutenant Aaron Kale of the Terran Recon Fleet, expendable, anonymous, sent where survival was optional and silence was mandatory. My mission was simple: escort a scientific delegation to the edge of the Helier expanse, observe first contact protocols, and return alive if possible. The Helier system was supposed to be dead. 3 suns locked in unstable orbit, tearing planets apart with radiation and gravity tides. No intelligent life had ever been detected there. At least, that's what Command told us. They were wrong. The mark. The first sign of error came the moment our ship crossed the outer orbit of the 3rd sun. Every instrument went dark for exactly 6 seconds. When they came back online, we were no longer alone. A city floated beneath us, vast, symmetrical, and alive with pale golden light. It hovered above a shattered planet like a crown above a skull. No thrusters, no heat signature, just defiance of everything humanity understood. We landed under a white sky streaked with solar arcs from all 3 suns. The air was breathable, warm, and humming faintly, as if the planet itself was listening. That's when she appeared. She emerged from a ring of light, tall and luminous, her skin a deep obsidian threaded with lines of soft silver glow. Her eyes held the reflection of all 3 suns, shifting like living constellations. The rest of my team froze, trained soldiers suddenly uncertain children. But she wasn't looking at them.
She was looking at me.
Her gaze dropped to my uniform, to the worn triangular symbol stitched there, a relic from an obsolete Terran division decommissioned centuries ago. I wore it out of habit, unaware of its significance. Her breath caught, her knees bent, and before anyone could stop her, she knelt. She saw the mark, one of our scientists whispered in disbelief. "Why is she kneeling?" That's when she spoke. "The one who bears the sign has returned," she said, her voice echoing inside my skull instead of the air. "The Chosen walks among us once more." A prophecy older than Earth. Her name was Sailthera, keeper of the Helier Covenant. She explained that her people, the Aurelians, were not born under the 3 suns. They were refugees, survivors of a cosmic war that predated human civilization. Long ago, when Earth was still forming, a single human vessel had appeared in Helier space. Its commander bore the same insignia I wore, the mark of the Triarch, a symbol of unity between species. That human had helped the Aurelians seal away an entity known only as the Devourer, a consciousness that fed on stars and civilizations alike. The cost was immense. The human commander sacrificed himself to bind the entity within the fractured planet below the floating city. Before his death, he made a promise. When the Devourer stirs again, one bearing the mark will return. The Aurelians had waited for thousands of years.
For me.
Doubt and revelation. I denied it. I told her it was coincidence that humans reuse symbols all the time. But Sailthera led me to the Hall of Echoes, where crystalline structures replayed memories etched into space-time itself. I saw him, the first Chosen. He wore the same uniform, the same insignia. Even his face, older, sterner, was disturbingly similar to mine. "He was not your ancestor," Sailthera said softly. "He was you, or rather the pattern of you. The universe remembers its answers." That night, the Devourer stirred. The fractured planet began to pulse with violent energy. One sun dimmed. Another flared uncontrollably. Alarms rang through the floating city as ancient seals weakened. The Aurelians gathered, fear rippling through their luminous forms. They looked to me, and for the first time in my life, I felt something terrifying. Responsibility. The choice. Sailthira explained the truth they had hidden even from themselves. The devourer could not be destroyed, only contained. And containment required a living anchor, a consciousness capable of resonating with both human and Aurelian biology. The first chosen had died to seal it. The second would not survive either. I had a choice. Leave now, return to Earth, let the devourer break free within decades and doom countless systems. Or take my place in the cycle and end it forever. What happens if I refuse? I asked. Sailthira didn't answer. She didn't need to. The bond. As the devourer broke through the planet's crust, Sailthira made a decision of her own. She bound herself to me, a forbidden act among her people, merging her life force with mine. Where the first chosen had stood alone, I would not. You are the chosen, she said, her forehead touching mine as light wrapped around us both. But you do not walk the path alone. Together, we descended into the planet's core, where reality warped and screamed. The devourer spoke in 1,000 stolen voices, promising power, immortality, dominion. I ignored it. I focused on the mark burning into my skin, no longer stitched but alive. I spoke the words Sailthira taught me, ancient, resonant, final. The devourer howled as the seals were formed, stronger than before, rewritten with human defiance and Aurelian harmony. The sun stabilized. The city held. And then everything went silent. The ending. When I woke, I expected darkness. Instead, I stood beneath the white sky again. I was alive. Different, but alive. Sailthira stood beside me, no longer luminous, her glow subdued, her life now intertwined with mine permanently. The cycle is broken, she said. There will be no third chosen. My uniform was gone. So was the mark. Its purpose fulfilled. The Terran fleet arrived hours later, finding a stable system, a peaceful civilization, and a lieutenant who no longer quite belonged to Earth. Command offered extraction. I declined. I had been chosen, not to die, but to stay. As ambassador. As guardian. As the bridge between worlds. As the sun set in perfect balance, Sailthira took my hand. You did not believe in destiny, she said. I smiled, watching 3 stars share the sky without destruction. I still don't, I replied. But I believe in choice. And this time the universe agreed. As the alien council fell silent, all eyes turned to her, Kalara, the one who had first recognized the mark. She stepped closer, her glowing eyes scanning the insignia on my uniform. The tension was thick, almost suffocating, yet in that moment, a spark of understanding passed between us. The chosen, she whispered, her voice carrying across the chamber. It was not accusation, nor reverence. It was a declaration. I felt a strange warmth, a surge of energy emanating from the mark itself. The symbols etched on my chest pulsed faintly, resonating with something deep inside me that I hadn't known existed. Suddenly, the walls of the council hall shimmered, and visions appeared, memories not my own but shared through the mark. Battles fought in distant galaxies, alliances forged with alien civilizations, warnings of a looming catastrophe. I realized then that my life until now had been only preparation. Everything had led me to this moment, to this planet, to these people. Kalara extended her hand. You are the one who can unite us, she said. The one the stars themselves have marked. The other council members hesitated, then slowly, one by one, they lowered their weapons. A fragile hope filled the room. I stepped forward, feeling the weight of destiny settle on my shoulders. Then we unite, I said, voice steady. Not as humans and aliens, not as conquerors or subjects, but as allies facing what's coming. The alien queen, previously silent, nodded, a subtle movement that carried the gravitas of 1,000 decisions. So be it. The chosen shall lead, and through you, we may yet survive. A wave of energy spread from the mark, enveloping the room in a soft, radiant glow. I could feel the connection strengthening, linking us, binding our fates together. Outside, the three suns of the planet seemed to align for the first time in centuries, casting an ethereal light across the alien city, a sign, perhaps, that the universe itself had acknowledged the prophecy. As I looked at Kalara, I understood that this was not the end of my journey. It was the beginning. Together, we would face the trials ahead, navigate the treacherous expanse of space, and perhaps, in time, forge a future where two worlds could truly become one. For the first time, I felt a certainty I had never known. The mark was not just a symbol, it was a promise. And I was ready to fulfill it. The council hall erupted in quiet murmurs of acceptance and cautious hope. And as the stars outside blinked in silent approval, I knew that the story of the chosen had only just begun.